I really am not a birthday person. I've never been one to really kind of consciously think about the fact that there's a certain day I have as a birthday. And out every year, I send out what I think might be a useful gift. I always try to look for ways to make the birthday, so-called birthday celebration, a bit useful to other people who are busy wishing me the best. So I've decided that I'm going to give out this my book that says that your company may be losing money, okay, by retiring employees when they are at so-called retirement age, and then even that you are not, your brain does not get weaker or less efficient because you're growing older. It can actually be just as sharp as it is when you were 25. It depends on what you do with yourself. So this PDF is something I wrote many years ago, and it's actually based on established and well-founded research evidence. So you read about brain training and things like that. I've always told people that my productivity, anybody who asks me, how do you do all the things you do? How do you seem to be able to do so much within a day? It's all because of the understanding I have of the capacity of the human brain. And it's not just me, a lot of people have that understanding. So once you have it, then you understand that there's literally no limitations to what you can do in a 24-hour period. All right, so without taking too much time, I just want to quickly give you an overview, especially about the retirement rule. Like I said, this is more like a trailer. So if you want the book, then just use the contact details provided at the end of the video. If not, for those of you who had already, whose names I've compiled from when you wished me happy birthday, then that means I would have sent you a link to download. By the time you see this video, I would have sent you a link to download your copy, because I'm going to put a copy with everybody's, with that JPEG image of all the names. I'm going to put a copy like that in my website. Excuse me, on my website, and make a link available for people to download it. All right. So in the 1870s, I'm talking about the retirement rule. How did it come about? We hear, people, Fela sang the song. There's a song Fela sang in which he talked about when the person would retire, he would serve them for 65 years, then he would retire. If you no tire, then go tire ram, then go dash am. One old bicycle, 65 years service, one wristwatch. As you know, that song, I think it's called Perambulator. He talked about that requirement for retirement. Now, if you read this PDF ebook, you will see that several examples are given, and all of it is designed to show that people in their later stages of life, for instance, if you look at the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, the gentleman Colonel Sanders, he was about 75, if I recall correctly, when he struck gold by way of starting his franchise. Then you have the story about the man you read in the PDF ebook, who I think at the age of 90 something was signing a contract with people, and was telling them that they will be. The thing is, the stories are designed to show that age is not going to affect your mental capacity significantly if you take care of yourself intellectually, mentally, if you exercise your brain muscles. So you do a lot of brain training and you're actively engaged in thinking. You are going to find out that your brain will remain as acutely performing as ever. All right. So, but the origin of the retirement rule has to do with in the 1870s. The German chancellor at that time, called Bismarck, I understand he's very popular. He was also involved in the dividing up of Africa, according to what I've read. The Berlin conference, or whatever they call it. So it's an interesting character. Anyway, so he seems to be very good at manipulating people. That's why I call him an interesting character. So, because when you hear this story, then you understand what he did was he was quite a cunning character. So he noticed that a lot of his political enemies, the people that were giving him the greatest headaches, in the German polity, were people who were 65 years and above, generally. So this chancellor, being a man who did not want to deal with such people, decided that he thought up the idea that he would get the parliament, if I recall correctly now, to pass a law making it compulsory for people who were in service to retire at the age of 65. You see, by making it compulsory for them to retire at the age of 65, he effectively got rid of literally all the enemies he had, okay, who were, of course, mostly within that age group. Now, it worked because then it gave him the free hand to do what he wanted to do in government and not have so much opposition like he had been having from those people who were so, because they were of that advanced age. As you can imagine, we talk about wisdom of the elders and all that. Those who have really made good use of their years on earth, by the time they cross a certain age barrier, they begin to use their wisdom acquired from decades of being around to really, I think the Africans said it best. They have a proverb that says that what the young person cannot see when he's climbing on top of the tree, the the old person can see from afar while sitting down. You know, so there's so much for those people who have spent their years in the right manner. There's a lot of wisdom that comes from through age, and that was what the chancellor did not want to deal with. He saw that these people were able to kind of effectively tackle him politically. So he got rid of them, like I said, by pushing for the people in government to the parliament to pass that law, making it compulsory or mandatory for people to retire at the age of 65. Now, for some strange reason, this is how it became a rule all over the world. It's kind of generally 60, 65 people had to retire. Other countries in Europe followed. But if you read the report, I said for some reason. But looking back, it's not for some reason. For obvious reasons. Because the people in government in any part of the world don't like to be opposed. They want to have their whatever they want to do, their plans and their ideas, they want to be able to implement them with minimal resistance from the people. So if they see there's any way to get rid of opposition, they will. So naturally, if one government has passed a law and it's working, since they are still in power, they would also like to pass a similar law because it benefits them to do so. So that was why the thing became widespread, because they saw that this man effectively got rid of his opponents. And the other guys in power at that point in time, in other countries in Europe, saw that if they did the same thing, it would really benefit them. So that's, I guess, why it has spread. But the citizenry, most of them did not understand that. They just took it on face value, and many of them going forward did not really see through it from that perspective, because only those with the inside knowledge, who were on the inside, could understand why Bismarck did what he did. And of course, maybe they even had conversations. The other leaders in Europe had conversations with him, and they understood why he did it. And naturally, that's why the thing spread. Now, over the decades and centuries, it's now happened that, hey, it's just the rule. People accept it. You go into the workforce and you just understand that you're going to retire. And then you are being made to feel that the reason why you're retiring is because you are getting old, you are gray, you're going to be slower. That's not necessarily true. It depends on how you've managed yourself, how you've managed, maintained your body and your mind. I think Edison was that said, the mind that's not exercised is atrophied. It's just because the mind is just like any other muscle in the body. The brain, sorry, it's just like any other muscle in the body. If you don't use it, then it loses its vitality. So if you exercise your bodily muscles, then when you are aging, it's not going to show as much as somebody who has not been. You'll not be as flabby as somebody who has not exercised his muscles all through the years. That's why we have some people who are in their 70s and their 80s. They look even better. They even have six packs compared to people that are 30 who have pot bellies. So that's basically it. I just wanted to give you that intro to the book. If you want a copy of it, like I said, just use the details provided. I think there's a link there. I think it's tajlibrary.com/retirement rule. Just go there and or just send me an email at tayo@tksole.com with your WhatsApp number, and I'll just let me know you want it, and I'll send it to you. Other than that, for those of you who already wished me a happy birthday, I just did this because of you. So I'm sending you a copy of this, and I hope you find it useful. The goal is, look, understand that it doesn't matter how old you get. I've worked with people that, look, good example is Bud Dubin, my remote mentor. I've never met him, but I've worked with him for years. I've known him, and he's become more of a friend than anything else. And Bud, I think he's 97 now. Man, relating with him when he was even 92 he was so quick. He was so good. He would read up everything I wrote to him. And yet I found some people who are in their 50s, you can't comprehend stuff. So like I said, it's not about age, it's about how you use yourself. And if you keep your mind very well exercised, it's going to deliver value to you. It's going to really enrich your life and enable you to enrich the lives of others as well. And that's what I hope will happen for each of you that reads the book. I wish you well.